Howdy folks, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing another episode of World in Flames CE Days of Decision 3 playthrough. This is the March-April 1936 turn. Last turn we saw some big events happen. Germany occupied the Rhineland. There was a treaty signed between the Commonwealth and France, level 1 treaty, as well as a level 1 treaty between the United States and China. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting money for the major powers looks something like this. Germany at 3, Japan at 2, Italy at -1, Soviet Union at 0, Commonwealth at 6, France at 2, United States at -1, and China at 1. We had 3 bidding major powers. We had Germany, which bid 1. We had Japan also bid 1, and we had France bid 1. All the other major powers are kind of comfortable with where they are right now. So the bid totals came out to be Germany with a +1, with +4 is 5, puts Germany in first. We have next would be France. France is bid 1, +2 for their political position, gives them a 3, and puts them in second. Japan also bid only 1, but their position is 6, and 1 + 1 is 2, which is going to put them in third position. The other major powers will, and that will also be the last card. So to the non-bidding major powers, we have Italy and Britain, both at 3. It's a tie, so in order to break the tie, we have to come over and look at their political effectiveness. And Japan's political effectiveness is 2, and Britain's political effectiveness is 3. So Britain wins that tie. So Britain is going to go 4th, and Italy is going to go 5th. The Soviet Union has a +2. That will put the Soviet Union 6. United States is at +1. That'll be 7th. And China is at 0, which puts them at 8th. By the way, during the last turn, all the major powers got a chance to exercise a political option. So there were no bonus bid points or anything like that. Okay, let's see what Germany wants to do for a political option. Germany is going to choose minor economic agreement. And she's going to sign a, if I find it, right here. Minor economic agreement. She's going to sign a minor economic agreement with Romania for another oil. So let's see, the option may not be played against minor powers that are war or a civil war. Make an economic agreement. Minor powers initiative must be less than or equal to the major powers initiative must be less than or equal to the minor's willpower. Well, Germany's in first spot, so that's none of them have a willpower less than 1. So that meets the prerequisite. The money cost is going to be 4. Plus the bid will be 5, so it'll cost Germany 5 money total. The only political effect for that was to give Germany a +1 in Romania, but now Germany gets to activate a minor. And I think the minor that Germany is going to activate is Turkey. Well, Turkey has a +1 Soviet marker in it, So by activating it, we're just gonna negate that completely. We'll take that right off the board, because 1 point will not move the political marker at all on the status display. Last up is to see if Germany is going to end the political phase. Roll a die, need a 1. There's been no previous political options played. And the die roll is a 3. So the political phase will continue. And next up is France. France had something to do. They're a democracy. And being a democracy, they have to hold an election in a given time frame dependent upon the democracy. For the French, it's once a year. So France is going to play this one right here. IPO 10. Let's read the prerequisites. This can only be played on a democratic major power. You must either name your own major power or a major power that has a higher initiative position than yours. You may not choose a major power that is at war with another major power, or a major power that doesn't need to hold an election in their current election time frame. Or the USA. USA is an exception to this. They have to hold an election in November, December turn of 36, 40, 44, or until they're at war. Okay, let's see. Costs 1 money. There's no political effects. Okay. Basically, it just allows the French to hold their election, and I get to activate a minor country. So let's go over and take a look, see what the French might want to activate. There really isn't a whole lot of good choices for France right here, but I think as we got Poland here. It's got a +1 Soviet and a +1 German, but it does have a +1 British. We do have a -1 British token in Belgium. So I think the French are going to activate Belgium and get rid of that -1 marker. So that's what we'll do. We'll activate them, and that takes care of that. Last thing to do is to see if the French end the political phase. So been 1 political option played, so that's 1 with -1 to the die roll. And that's it for the political phase. So I'll note that the Japanese didn't get to play a political option this phase, and they will get bonus bid points for the next turn. Okay, from here we'll go do initiative and roll for weather. The weather roll was a 5, which ends up being a 7. So it's going to be rain in the Arctic, rain in the North Temperate, fair in the Mediterranean, fair in the North Monsoon, rain in South Monsoon, and fair in South Temperate. The initiative roll came out to be a 10 for the fascists, an 8 for the Soviet Union, and a 7 for the democracies, modified by a +2 for the fascists, +1 for the communists, and a -1 for the democracies. So the fascists have decided to go last, which means the communists are going to go next to last, and the democracy gets to go first. The impulse marker will be moving up 2 per impulse. And reinforcements for this turn are basically 3 ships. We got a French ship, the G Lagoons. Okay, that's going to go in the construction pool. We have 2 American ships. We have the Vincent's, nice cruiser, into the construction pool, and the carrier Yorktown. Also into the construction pool. There we go. The democracies don't really have a whole lot to do. So they're basically going to all take combined impulses and do nothing. The Soviets as well don't have a whole lot to do either. So they're going to do basically the same thing. When you get to the fascist turn, they do have one thing to do. They have a naval move for the Italians. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to do is they're going to move, let's see, port attacks, naval air missions, naval movement, naval combat, opponent's naval combat, strategic bombardment, ground strike missions, rail movement, land movement. So they're going to move this one mechanized corps to this mountain hex right here. While a mountain hex on the Pacific map costs 6 movement points, which exceeds the movement allowance for this unit. So it's basically going to move here and flip over. And that's basically going to be it for what the Italians are going to do for this impulse. So we'll go back and we'll roll weather, and we'll probably do another impulse. And basically I'm just going to move through this stuff, and if anything major happens, I'll break and record it. If not, I'm probably going to pick up with production. The democracies ended up ending the turn on impulse 16. They did roll a 3. And since both the fascists and the communists were unable to have were shorted by an impulse, that does is it moves the democracy's marker to the left, but it can't go any further left, so the communists get to move 1 to the right. So now we both have the fascists and the communists in the +2 box for initiative, and the democracies are in the -1 box. And I'll be right back with production. Production for this turn looks something like this. Germany spent 2 to lay down the Bismarck. Japan spent 1 for a convoy point, 1 for a tanker point, 2 to lay down some transports, 1 to lay down a carrier, the Shinyo, lay down the carrier Shinyo, and nothing to build a combat air group for a carrier, because the pilot's option allows the 2 to be subtracted from all aircraft that are built, because the pilots themselves cost 2. Okay, and we got Italy. Italy laid down a carrier, the Sparviato, right there. Laid that down for its first round, 6 turns. The Russians built an infantry corps, because the purge basically took almost all their infantry off the board, so they need to replace their infantry. The British built a convoy point, a tanker point, a pilot, that's 4, a transport for 2, and a heavy cruiser, the Erebus. The French built a tanker point and a convoy point. They still are not getting their resource from Senegal, so they want to get enough tanker points to pull that in. and convoy points, and they need enough tankers to reach out to Burma to get the oil that the British gave them. Now the tankers go 5. U.S. has laid down the Wasp, nice carrier, and a convoy point. And China built, I think it's a division, yeah, a cavalry division for $1. And that wraps up production. So we'll get this uploaded and possibly get another turn done very quickly.